Welcome to those who are tuning in over Zoom this morning to this retreat. So I want to give a few more notes or instructions on the practice we're doing, the practice of mindfulness. I mentioned last night, really the first stage of developing any level of concentration or mindfulness is learning how to get the mind anchored or grounded in the present moment using the body and the breathing. So this mind, and we experience the world through this breathing body with its nervous system. So it's important to keep the spinal column straight. Meditation happens between your brain and the spinal cord, because that's where all the vibrations of the external world, sight, sound, smells, taste, things touching on the skin, all that passes through the nervous system, which is connected along the spinal column to the brain, where we then register our consciousness and memory and reactions. So that's why the attention to the body is an important step of training in the meditation, to keep the spinal column straight. Because if you slouch, if the head goes down or your spine slouches like that, then that impedes the free flow of nervous system energy, and the mind will either start going to sleep or just be fuzzy or kind of lost in your thoughts. So that's why that attention to the posture is important for helping to facilitate that ability to have more awake alertness. And then the breathing is also, so we mentioned this morning in the meditation about the posture and the breathing. So both those things are occurring in the present moment. It's our mind that's always going between the past and the future. So by feeling any of those things, by just remembering sitting, breathing, or just the breathing itself, or just the body itself, either one of those works for the purpose of remembering the present moment and keep coming back to maintain that connection in the body. Now, the main things that prevent our ability to do that are the hindrances, and especially the three main hindrances that block our ability to stay alert and focused. The worst one is sleepiness. And even though you might have slept for 6 or 8 hours or more at night, when you come to meditate, then oftentimes the mind still will, tend to nod out. And that's because the habit, the long developed habit of whenever you're in the middle of the daytime, if you're sitting still and close your eyes, it's the mind thinks it's time to sleep, because that's the habit that we have. You know anybody in your life that sits in the middle of the day with their eyes closed, not moving, and doesn't go to sleep? Probably very few people. So therefore, it's a habit that has to be gradually overcome. But keeping the posture straight is, at least 75% of the ability to remain awake. But the trouble is, we can't sit straight because we haven't done proper exercise. So one thing, we have this big head sitting up on top of the spine and a big chin sticking out. Maybe you have gold crowns or braces or something else in there, so it's quite heavy. And gravity grabs that chin and starts pulling it down. It's the first thing that happens, is gravity grabs the chin because there's nothing underneath it to support it. And because we have weak neck muscles, people normally don't practice neck exercises. So the neck muscles are weak. So the first thing that happens is that chin starts coming down. And because we're not aware of the body, we're not in a habit of paying attention to our body, except when we're in the mirror combing our hair, or putting on makeup or whatever. But otherwise, we're normally not aware of our body. So all of those things together is why that's usually the first thing that happens. And when you allow the chin to come down, that causes your shoulders and spine then to kind of collapse or bend forward. So that's why the mindfulness of the body is important, to notice that and to keep kind of straightening back up. Now there's the inward curve of the lower spine is important because that supports the weight of the upper body. Our spinal column is made in a kind of an S shape. That inward curve of the lower spine is there for a reason. And it's to support the weight of the upper body. So to pay attention to that as you're aware of the posture, that's part of the posture. And usually because of the gravity pulling us down, that inward curve starts to curve outwards. Then we keep on kind of slouching down until you're half asleep or lost in your daydreams. And also it causes other pains too, because of that pressure, that downward point of gravity. There's more pressure on your hips and knees that cause discomfort. So the ability to sit straight is really half or more of the meditation practice. So that's why I usually, keep repeating that information and, repeating the stay awake and come back to the posture. So sitting straight, so the sleepiness is the one hindrance, but then the pains are another hindrance. So many of the pains are due to slouching, as I just mentioned. It puts undue pressure on your shoulders, your spine, even your neck, the hips. And so by learning how to sit straight, even though that may feel a little uncomfortable or in the beginning because your muscles are weak, it'll pay off in the long run. And that's why we also do the yoga exercise, because that helps to strengthen all of those muscles. So, and then the breathing. So doing the deep, slow breathing. And so the breathing or the posture, or a combination of those, what I suggest is trying to feel the breathing within the posture. But if some people find that difficult, you can focus more exclusively on the breathing. Or if people find the breathing not easy, they can just feel the body, because either one of those is the constant remember of the present moment. That's what's important. The object isn't important. It's the mind awake and alert in the present moment that's important. Focusing on the posture of breathing are just some anchors that we use. But so anyway, and with the breathing, it's, the breathing is sort of the object of the concentration. And there's two things we're developing: mindfulness and concentration. So the concentration is the ability to keep remembering sitting and breathing, breathing in, breathing out, sitting and breathing in the present moment. But the mindfulness is that background alertness that notices when the head is starting to droop down. Chin drooping, okay. And then that allows you then to lift the chin back up. Or if you find yourself slouching. So the mindfulness recognizes that. It's like a security camera or a watchdog that barks at intruders. The intruders in our meditation are our slouching body, sleepiness, pains, and also our thoughts. So whenever you start slouching, that means already you're probably lost in thoughts or going to sleep, one of those two, or a combination, or just daydreams. So when you sit straight and feeling the body, then you'll be in a better position to kind of just see thoughts as they're coming and going through that awareness. But anyway, being alert for when thoughts are always trying to sneak in, just like mice are always trying to sneak in our house. Or meat is always sitting there by the door waiting to run in. So our thoughts are always kind of lurking right, in the back of our mind, waiting for an idle moment when you're not alert to rush in and take you away in various thoughts. So by keeping the posture and sitting straight, that will help you to be more alert and to notice when thoughts are arising, so you can nip them in the bud by just being aware, thinking, and just to observe thoughts objectively, and to not to get carried away in their content, and to keep coming back to the sitting and breathing. And then counting the breaths is a very good beginning practice, to count the breaths from 1 to 10. I'm going to be doing that again in this meditation we're going to be doing. But until you can count the breaths from 1 to 10 without getting lost in thoughts, that's really considered to be, at least what I consider to be, the first stage of any decent concentration. And there's different ways you can count the breaths, but the way that I recommend is, to focus on the expanding and contracting movements of the breathing. And as you feeling that the incoming breath, you count to 1. And then there's a brief pause, and then on the contracting out breath, you also count to 1, because that's 1 complete round of breathing. And then the next in breath 2, and the out breath 2, and like that. As you're counting, if you get lost in thoughts, you might say, "Oh, where was I? What was it, 3 or 4?" If you have to second guess, then start again the counting at 1 again. So the counting is gives a challenge. A lot of people say, counting is not necessary. Yeah, it is. Try it. Because it forces you to be more alert. And you don't want to always have to start at 1 again. But if you lose the count, then start again counting from 1. So it gives you an extra little challenge to stay more alert and not to lose your count, not to enjoy, whatever fantasies or thoughts that are coming through your mind, or getting distracted by other things. So if you can count the breaths from 1 to 10 by yourself, then that's usually a good state of concentration. You can continue to do that even a second time, if you like. Or if you make it to 10, you can reverse the count from 10 back to 9, then 8, and going in reverse order back to 1. That even forces you to be more alert and aware of that. So that's what I recommend doing in the beginning is to work with that until you can count 10 breaths from 1 to 10. And then from there, you let go of the counting and then just try to maintain that awareness of simply breathing in, breathing out, or in, sitting, out, sitting. It's a gradual progression of the, the concentration and awareness. And to work with developing that deep, slow breathing. Deep, slow breathing. Usually when people teach meditation and mindfulness of breathing, they say, don't control the breath, don't do any special breathing, or okay, that might be good if you already have good concentration, but breathing is very important in terms of learning how to develop a more rhythmic breathing, which means learning how on the in-breath to take 3 or 4 seconds to gradually expand the lungs and then hold the air in for 2 or 3 seconds to allow all the oxygen to get out of the lungs and into the bloodstream. And then feel that the contracting out breath. So to do that requires more concentration. It's sort of like a substitute for counting, or you can even combine them in the beginning. And being able to take, to do that deep, slow breathing for about 5 minutes or 9 or 12 times, it helps you to stay concentrated, so you don't get lost in your thoughts so easily. And it also relaxes the nervous system. And so by the end of that deep, slow breathing, you're already in a good state of concentration. Anyway, these are just things to keep in mind and to try to use these tools to help develop that initial stage of centeredness, getting grounded and centered in the body. Actually, that's a state of concentration, means the mind resting in the present moment, not necessarily focused on any particular object, but just resting in the present moment, with the breathing body. But again, paying attention to the hindrances. Because if we're not mindful of the hindrances, then we'll spend much of the meditation period either half asleep or in a drowsy state, or just continually lost in your thoughts, or continually squirming around because of pains and discomforts. Okay? Does anybody have any specific questions about any of that? Yes?
I have a question. If there is any previous injury that kind of difficult to see for a long period of time,
then stand up. If any time the pain gets too intense, that you are, it's really like distressing your mind, or you can't concentrate on anything else, then just mindfully stand up and continue the same meditation in the standing position until that pain kind of goes away. And then sit back down if you like, or go in the back and sit in a chair. And if the legs go to sleep in the meditation, try wiggling your toes a little bit, even while you're sitting and meditating. If you feel those pins and needles sensations, in your legs, if they go to sleep, just wiggle your toes a little bit. That'll help to draw some blood down in there and hopefully keep them from going totally numb. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin. So try to hold the hands one on top of the other like this, and try not to lay them on your legs, but keep the hands lifted up So that inward part of the hand, that inward edge is kind of just at the level of your navel or just slightly beneath the navel area. And that effort to keep the hands lifted up would also help you to keep more awake. If you're too relaxed in meditation, just like this, then you're going to get stuck in a very shallow or superficial state of awareness. So it takes some additional effort to keep the body straight. And so just gently close the eyes. Just feel the head balanced on top. And feel your eyes in the socket. And the eyelids stretched over the eyeball. Just try to feel that outline of the sitting body. The head balanced on top, the arms at the sides, the hands touching together, the buttocks pressing the seat. The feet. And feel some tingling sensations in your toes. And reestablish the awareness on the eyes, feeling the eyes. From that point, feeling the outline of the body. And begin some deep, slow breathing. Taking 3 or 4 seconds to expand the abdomen, rib cage, and upper chest, holding the air in the lungs for 2 or 3 seconds. Feel the pause, and then the out breath. And feel the last bit of air go out of the lungs on the out breath. Just take several more deep, slow breaths like that, developing this basic mindfulness. Breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Breathing out, sitting here and now. Feel the last bit of air go out. Breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Breathing out, sitting here and now. Breathing in, feeling the whole body. Breathing out, feeling the whole body. And we're going to count the breaths again from 1 to 10. I'll do the counting for you. Just try to follow that. Or the next expanding in breath, mentally count to 1. Feel the brief pause. With the contracting out breath, also count to 1. Feel the last bit of air go out. The next in breath, 2. Out breath, 2. In 3. Out 3. In 4. Out 4. In 5. Out 5. In 6. Out 6. In 7. Out 7. In 8. Out 8. In 9. Out 9. In 10. Out 10. You can try counting the breaths again from 1 to 10 by yourself. See if you have your own concentration. If you lose your count anywhere, start again at 1. The pauses between the breaths, check your posture, keep the chin lifted up, stay alert. If you're able to count your breaths from 1 to 10 without getting lost, and just continue the counting. Just stay with the basic awareness. In, sitting. Out, out, sitting. Start to feel like a scientist sitting in the laboratory, looking down through a microscope. Breathing body is the laboratory for the meditator. The microscope is our focused awareness. Looking down the microscope, feel the sensations of expanding and contracting. It's knowing when the breath is coming in and knowing when the breath is going out. Feeling all those subtle little sensations of expanding and contracting. Feel the sensations of the clothing rubbing against the stomach, rib cage, or chest. That expands and contracts, producing sensation. In, sitting. Out, out, sitting. Over and over and over again. Breath by breath. Moment by moment. Noticing how each breath is different. Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. Sometimes you feel it more in the abdomen. Sometimes you feel it more in the rib cage or upper chest. It's always changing. If you can't feel it easily, do some more deep, slow breathing. Feel it more dynamically. Just follow the out breath, the contracting out breath all the way down to the end. Feel that last bit of air go out. And the next in breath. Start to feel that breathing in the larger sitting body. Breathing keeps this body alive. At the same time, be alert for thoughts or urges sneaking up into the mind, or any wanting. So let the thoughts come and go in the back of the mind, keeping the breathing body in the front of the awareness. Any sounds take the attention, noted as just hearing. The sound vibrations going in one ear, out the other. Don't follow them. They arise and vanish. The body keeps sitting and breathing. Sitting and breathing. Being alert for any of the other hindrances, drowsiness, pain. From time to time, taking a few 3-part breaths. Stay awake, alert in the body. Try to notice subtler detail, sensation in the breathing process, or other bodily sensations coming and going in through that breathing awareness. Hearing. If you think about the sound, note that as thinking. Let go of both the sound and the thinking. The sitting, breathing, sitting, breathing. balancing mindfulness and concentration. Concentration is the ability to continually remember and feel the breathing body. The mindfulness is the alertness for intruding thoughts, distracting sounds, painful sensations, sleepiness. Applying the appropriate remedies, antidote, of which the deep, slow breathing is the best.
In sitting, out, out, sitting, the ongoing natural connection to the breathing body, to the present moment awareness. This breathing body is the only constant thing in your whole life, from birth to death. It's the only thing that's always there, trustworthy, by your side, underneath your nose. Everything else arises and vanishes, unreliable. This breathing body is always your best friend. Your connection to sanity, to the present moment. If you know how to feel it, it's not far away.
What sensations or thoughts arise in the mind based on that sound? Don't let the mind jump to the future. Keep feeling the body. And mindfully place your hands at the edge of your knee. And take a deep breath. On the in-breath, stretch your head back, pull the hands on the knees to arch your back and spine. And lift the head up on an in-breath. On the out-breath, press the chin to the top of the chest to stretch the neck vertebrae. And lift the chin up level on an in-breath. Relax on the out-breath. So now we want to mindfully transition from the sitting position into the standing position. And just slowly unfold your legs. If you've gone to sleep, wiggle your toes, or just be careful. Stretch the legs out one at a time. Start to stretch the legs out straight in front. Keep your heels about 6 inches apart. Flex your toes and arches. Slow little flexing movements of your toes and arches. And make some large circular movements with your feet and ankles to loosen up the ankles. Just a few times in each direction. And bring the feet closer together. And we'll do the forward stretch. Hands at the chest. Breathe in. Hands over the head. On the out breath, touch the chest and reach forward. Hold on to your toes. Pull the hands on the feet to stretch the spine forward. And reach your maximum comfortable stretch. Feel those stretch sensations in your legs and spine. Hold that a little longer. Just mentally feel that posture as it is in the mind's eye. And breathe in, sit back up. Let your hands rest on your knees. Keep the eyes closed. Feel the eyes in the socket. Feel the outline of the body exactly as it is. The head on top, hands touching the knees, buttocks, heels pressing the floor, clothing touching the skin in different places. It's the present moment of the body exactly as it is, here and now. Just feel those subtle vibrations. And now draw one foot up at a time, draw the foot kind of up toward the body, and then the other foot. And place your hands down on the mat or floor. And then try to push yourself up into the squatting position, up on the balls of the feet. And put the hands on the floor. Spread your fingers apart like the webbed feet of a duck. Just close the eyes, just mentally feel the body exactly as it is, the hands and the feet pressing the floor. If there's any painful sensations in that posture, be aware of that. And on an in-breath, begin slowly straightening the legs as you slowly stand up, unfolding the body upwards. Be aware of any dizziness, standing all the way up straight. Relax your arms at the side. Just focus your attention on the eyes. From that point in the eyes, feel your face and head. And again, just try to feel the outline of the whole body. The arms and hands at the side, clothing touching the skin, straight leg, feet pressing the floor. Try to feel that outline of the standing body. Try to hold that outline of the standing body in the mind's eye. Awareness is like the third eye. We have two fleshy eyes that can see the outside world. With the eye of awareness, you can feel the inner world under the skin. Or can observe your thoughts coming and going. It's called the eye of awareness. It's like a video camera. You have your own inbuilt video camera of awareness. Kind of just video your standing body from the inside. Feeling that kind of general silhouette and all those different sensations. And take a few more deep, slow breaths. Feel that expanding and contracting in the middle of the body to oxygenate the blood. Just keep the video camera rolling. Breathing in, standing. Breathing out, standing. After the in-breath, hold the air in the lungs 2 or 3 seconds to feel those subtle sensations of oxygenating blood. Breathing in, standing. Breathing out, standing. It's the ongoing, continuous connection with the natural present moment awareness. Feel that subtle life force pulsating throughout the whole body. Behind the breathing, the heart is beating, sending blood out to the whole body. Try to feel or imagine that. That's the real living process, the real life. Here and now. And standing for a longer time, any time that you start to feel weak or faint, and then squat down to the floor until that passes away. You can use that video camera of awareness. It's like you would pan a video camera in the outside world around, pan it through your body. Just try that. Starting in your head, just pan that awareness down from your face, the shoulders, arms, all the way down to the feet. Take a couple minutes to do that. It's like you were filming. It's called the sensation body. On the outside, you have a more hard, meat and bone, solid kind of body. Inside, the sensation body, or the energy body. Just feel that. Okay, now we're going to do some walking around in the room. So to do that, the people that are near this wall over here, just move your cushions in about 2 feet to create a pathway. For those at home, if you're still tuned in, find a place in your own living room to practice some walking meditation. And we're going to sign off on the we'll be back at 1:45 for the Dhamma talk. Now just try to